Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video, Bitcoin is going for a retest, or is it just gonna collapse more? Is that what's going to happen? What are we looking at to identify all of that? In this video, I'll talk about in terms of the price action, and we'll have a clear picture by the end of this video what to expect next on Bitcoin, a retest or a further collapse. With that, please hit the like and subscribe if you find my videos valuable and helpful. And also please note, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So we have Bitcoin here continuing after reaching that $73,000, continuing a little bit to the downside. Now, if you have seen my previous Bitcoin videos, I mentioned that one candle would not do much, okay, in a bounce. Let's get to the weekly interval so that we can have some comparison with the previous price action as well. And I mentioned that this one candle, even though it has a room and potential to market as a bottom, but most likely one candle would not do much, and we may see very likely a retest in this zone. Okay, that mostly would look like a double bottom on the daily interval and so forth. The point is that if for any reason somehow, and that's why I was highlighting the $73,000 area, a very important level, if for any reason somehow after this last week of good bounce candle, if we would have closed either the last week itself or started this week and started to go above 73,000, then that bounce would have been sufficient to mark that the bottom is in, because that was a structure continuation change to the upside. But that was the critical zone. Okay, and that's what I mentioned, that first leg, take it as a bounce, and then we want to see, is it going for a retest or it's going to break straight through and above $73,000, which in that case would have opened up the doors to 84,000. And that's why position management is so important at these areas. So as I mentioned last time as well, yes, I have been buying between 73,000 to 60,000, but I did take the opportunity because my net price or net cost is somewhere down in the range of like 63, 64, because I did go heavy around 60,000. That I did take some partial profits when we got to 73,000, closer to that 71,000, right? Let's get to the hourly interval to make much more sense of that price action there. So as on the hourly interval, we were bouncing, right? We got up over here and I started to see slowness, rejection. I have been slowly and slowly just chipping away, just because my next more conviction or confidence in the position will be either we break out above 73, then I add more, or we come down for the retest and then I add more, because I was already seeing the first leg is done. And now it's about, okay, I got to manage my position, because I don't want to feel resentful that when price goes down, damn it, I should have taken some partial profits at least to manage my position. Yes, it's not like a super uptrend, I'm taking profits at the top, no, but I'm managing my risk and I'm still being able to take some partial profits because I'll get some cheaper opportunities or the breakout opportunities. That's why this zone was so important. Okay. Now the point is that, is Bitcoin going to collapse further, or it has a room to just find a retest and we find a double bottom here or even a higher pivot? Okay, so let's talk about those scenarios. Now let's get to the weekly interval. This zone of 60,000 is still a very high conviction zone, guys. Okay, the buyers, the way they stepped in over here was crazy. I was looking at the order book, and when I say order book, I mean on the Bitcoin you can use different terminologies. I use the same terminologies across both sides on the equities or Bitcoin, because I grew up trading on equities rather than on Bitcoin. So and I just used that same terminology. Okay, but so the orders were crazy at the 60,000 as I was looking. They come through the order book, and I don't think it's going to break that easily. And because we have high conviction of a previous strong price reaction there with the 200 weeks moving average and that strong order book. So I do think we will most likely bounce with the double bottom test over there. Now, this is all so far, all great technical indications that what Bitcoin is doing to form a bottom. Okay. If you think that, oh no, Bitcoin is gonna fail more just because we couldn't hold through after that bounce last week, that's not the way to look at the technicals. I already told you, we will go for a retest. Okay, most likely we will potentially go for a retest, and 73,000 for now can be the cap, and we may continue lower. So right now what you have to watch from here is where the strength will come back again. Now when we are almost in the direction of doing a retest, there are a few ways to identify where the strength can come back. Either this candle itself closes above 67,342, which has to be in, I think, 7-8 hours from the time of doing this video. By the time this particular session would close, you want to see it above 63,000, sorry, 67,350 around. Okay, or you want to see the next candle above that, right? Otherwise you don't right now buy or even add into your position. Like for example, as I'm doing the risk management, I'm not right now again adding to my position right now, because I want to see either it's going to continue lower, right, or I see a confirmation a little bit start to step above 67,350, right? And definitely I do believe even if we come down, we have a room for a double bottom here, but then we'll have to wait for an extra confirmation for a proper sign that would be usually above any of the significant levels higher, which my tools automatically marks for you. So when we lose a significant level and we get closer to the next area, and as if we come back above and take out or gain the previously lost significant level, that's your confirmation that things are turning back around again. So my tools marks all these levels automatically for you. If you need my tools details, you will find in the description of this video. So let's get to the hourly interval as well, because I want to highlight one more thing here. So I usually call it a snapback. Okay, and what is the snapback? So yes, we have gone sideways at that zone up there, and as we are going down, look at it, we are no longer forming a proper downtrend, right? What's happening is a Bitcoin is trying to snap back, which could form a pivot over here. So this is where the price goes strong dip, strong bounce, rejection, but not as strengthful lower low. It just tries to stabilize very closer to the previous low. That huge because we are already seeing signs of a snapback, right? So as if this can, that's why I'm saying that 67,350 around, it's a zone. We can, if we can snap back right above that in this very session, things has a room to start to stabilize. Also, you can additionally look for this 200 hours moving average up there. As if it starts to take that out, that's an extra confirmation in an ongoing, structure that, okay, strength is trying to come back in. So that will be all, the good signs for Bitcoin. So I don't think Bitcoin is going to collapse further, in my opinion, below 60,000. I don't think, well, we have to see the price action, as I said, but the high likelihood is that we may stabilize with the double bottom up there. But it's still days away for any potential of a strong move to the upside. And I would say we are definitely days away, guys. It's what I think will most likely happen. This 20 moving average will be around 73, and that's what if we can see a price somewhere up here, then most likely we'll see a breakout. So we are still, you give it maybe at least a week more around that before any big move happens. It is still at least a week away, if that has to happen. So it's going through the stabilization phase, and trying to form the bottom, and it's doing all classic technicals right now. So yeah, so I'm overall still not pessimistic on right now in the price action. Yes, we are in the downtrend technically. If you are doing a short, technically your swing short is still valid. Okay, it's still valid. It's all about risk management and seeing what type of trade you are taking, either swing, multi-day, or day trade, or rebound type of a trade. It's all about, you need to plan your trade around the type of a trade you are taking. Okay, so if you took a swing short on Bitcoin, technically it's still valid play. Okay, And it won't be valid anymore once it starts to get above 73 3 350, well, sorry, 73,000 around this 500 area. Sorry, I was confusing with the the 66, was it 350 area. I was confusing the last three digits with the 350 on that. I think it's on the daily interval better looked at there. Yeah, 67 around 350. Yeah, the previous one that I mentioned. Anyways, so you get my point, right? So that's how you have to look at Bitcoin right now. You can look at it however you like. I'm sharing my opinion just so you know. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum is also rejecting at that very zone that I've mentioned, that blue zone. I would see Ethereum being much more weaker than Bitcoin. But yeah, your really like strength would not begin on this thing as if we don't get above this blue zone up there, that is 2130 to 2150 around. So that's the zone that you are watching on Ethereum as well. Okay, so all right, guys, that's all I had for you in this video. If you want to know about coin and micro strategy, you will find those videos on my Patreon. All right, guys, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.